Just your overall thoughts on that one first of all.
Quite simply, the first half wasn't good enough, and then second half was a lot better. Conditions probably played a part. There was quite a wind coming down the hill, and I think it showed. In both halves. Livingston had it in the first half. We had it in the second half. I sound like a broken record talking about the goal that we conceded again. A real poor mistake from our point of view. We should deal with the first ball up the channel. And then we, get caught out trying to be too clever, and it's a simple goal as far as Livingston are concerned. We don't seem to get those types of opportunities ourselves. We have to work hard for every goal that we get, and far too often this season we've conceded needlessly, as far as I'm concerned. Second half was a lot better. We were a lot more on the front foot. We were, competing better in the middle of the park, picking up second balls, working the ball wide, getting into lots of dangerous areas. The only criticism possibly would be at times we didn't show enough quality in the final third when we got there. Our decision making in terms of the type of cross we were needing, whether it was a cut back to the penalty spot or one flashed across the face. Too often we hit the first man. But I felt when we got the equaliser, we were very much in the ascendancy, and I felt that if anyone was going to go and win the game, I felt it was going to be ourselves. But definitely we feel as if it's a couple of points dropped.
It's the second consecutive game you've been disappointed with the first half performance in particular. Is that a issue that you feel needs addressed, especially on home soil when you need to come out the blocks?
Well, yeah, look, we've showed in games gone by what we're capable of being in terms of when we are on the front foot and when we do play that little bit quicker. I just thought again today in the opening 45 minutes, just really, really poor in possession. Our goal kicks, trying to build from the back, nothing was consistent. There was no real quality within it, and Livingston, in fairness to them, had a really good shape about them and blocking passing lanes, but we need to do better. We're a far better team than that what we showed in the opening 45 minutes. But as I said, it's a positive reaction in the second half. Being a goal down against a team like Livingston is not easy because they're very good at defending the box, and we had to find a way to break them down, and we did that. And then I think in the game we've had 19 or 20 attempts on target, and just unfortunately that it was only one that we were able to hit the back of the net with.
Good to have Trapanovsky back, would you?
Good to have Trapper back, yeah. Obviously lacking game time, but the intention was always to bring him on today at some point, and I thought he showed glimpses of his old self, in the 1v1 situations, and with match fitness he'll just get better.
Was that the response you wanted from Amar Fatah as well, in terms of dropping out the side but really looked determined to make an impact when he did come on?
Definitely, yeah. Look, Amar was a little bit unfortunate to find himself out of the team. He had he missed a couple of days training during the week with a bug that he had, so we decided to make that change with Mahler. I thought Mahler had always looked really positive when he came on in the few sub appearances that he's made, and we decided to go with Nico through the middle and Zach just slightly to the left of him. But Amar showed a really good reaction to not being in the starting 11, and that's what we expect. And I think with now starting to get these players back from injury, I think we're starting to look at a little bit of strength and depth in the squad, which is really important. But it's also really important for the players to understand that there's that competition there for places now. We can accept the odd poor performance from time to time because that can happen. But we need to get a bit more consistency, and everybody needs to understand that there's people breathing down their necks for the jersey if anyone's underperforming.
Does the international break come at a good time to get players healthy and to get more competition, as you said?
Yeah, we've got a few longer term injuries, the likes of Max Waters and Ross Graham, who will be another few weeks. They won't be available after the international break, but the international breaks are a frustration for all managers, I would imagine, especially when you've got guys that are involved with their countries, and we'll have 6 or 7 players away from training next week who are in the squad today. So we're working with a smaller number, but it's still it doesn't mean that we can't work on key moments within the games that we need to improve on, and the players will work hard next week and get a couple of days off in the latter part of the week and hopefully be nice and fresh for the next one. All right, thanks.